So it starts off with the door rattling and one of them taking up a weapon to check it out. Looking out the door and realizing that it was just the wind.
My fault, kid. The coast is clear.
Hold up. This man just dove out the window and proceeded to roll off perfectly into his sprint. This is top tier athleticism. And he wasn't even worried about bro that got took. He saw him get snatched up and said, "No, they're not getting me." Sprinting through the forest, running away from this creature, jumping off the cliff, grabbing onto a vine and hitting the superhero landing. Looking around, minding his business. La-dee-da-dee-da. Taking his chain and stabbing him to death. I saw the title screen and I was in awe. What a way to start off the movie. And then we cut to Daniel hopping off the jet ski with the boys telling him how cool he is. When this girl Nicole starts adding to the compliments, even texted him later that night saying that she wants to meet up. So he goes to see her in the middle of the ocean. At night, mind you. Straight sharks kissing all up on their feet, talking about the stars. The constellations, nobody give a fuck. When suddenly the symbol on his leg starts glowing and he's submerged in the water trying to stop it, seeing the silhouette of the main villain who's hunting him down. And just off that, he was panicking, jumping out the water as everyone sees the lights shining from his body, and she ain't even try to help him. Saw the lights and started sprinting in the complete opposite direction, calling him a freak. And when he woke up, this guy shows up holding a weapon, and Daniel tells him that number 3 is dead, which causes them to pack up their bags and leave. Essentially, Daniel is an alien from the planet Lorien, and he's on the run from these bald-headed shark teeth bounty hunters called Mogadorians, who are going around hunting him and the 8 others like him. But the gifted like him can only be killed in numerical order. And based off the fact that number 3 just got killed, that means that he's next. And the man that's with him is his guardian, Henry. So even though Nicole was a piece of shit for running away and calling him a freak, she technically wasn't wrong. He is an alien freak. And because people just saw his powers, they've got to pack their bags and hit the road. And the first thing Henry does is give him a new name. So now he's John Smith, telling him that they're going to paradise. You see the way John just turned his head. Ooh, shit, paradise? He had about 15 different places in mind.
Anywhere in the world, where would you want to be?
Some cookies.
Just to see that this nigga meant Paradise, Ohio. The craziest oxymoron of all time. He was in the car sighing. Might as well just give him up to the Mogadorians. They can't possibly torture him more than this. And to make it even worse, they pulled up to an abandoned house. Holes in the wall and all. He just went from the sun shining, riding jet skis to depression. Henry is scrubbing any images of them off the internet when they hear a noise at the door. So he takes up the infamous weapon. Thought we were about to see another grown man get snatched through the front door. But when he opens it, there's this dog sitting outside alone in the rain. So John decides to adopt him and calls him Bernie. The next morning, John says that he's bored and decides to go to school. Even had the documents forged and ready. First man to actually want to go to school this badly. He enrolls and they assign this girl Sarah to show him to his locker, which catches the eye of the wannabe cool kid.
Yo, the name's Mark. And this is Bob, Bobby number 2, and whatever the fuck. So anyway,
how come when you arrived in paradise, you ain't tapping with me? That may not seem like what they said, but just trust. And as they were walking away, they bump into this kid Sam throwing his skateboard, clearly bullying him. So John gives him back his board, trying to be nice and talk to bro, but instead just ends up disappointed. Damn, he's a bitch. Just look at what happened during lunch. John decided to step up to help him pick up his books, and when the side character spoke out of turn, John took up the football and launched it right at him. Sarah immediately picked up her camera and started to take pictures. Henry was back at home sweating, had to delete the pictures off the website. First day and he's already bringing attention to himself, and he's laughing, thinking this shit is a joke. He must have forgot about the Mogadorians that are literally trying to kill him. Anyways, he was in class when Mark decides to sit next to him.
Yo, Yo, how you doing, bro? I see you're getting along with that loser Sam. I see how it is. You think you're better than us.
And as he's whispering this nonsense in his ear, John's hands start glowing and he has to run out to hide in the janitor's closet while freaking out trying to get his hands to stop, damn near blinding himself. And when he wakes back up, he sees Henry, who explains to him that these powers are gifts that him and the others that are a part of the 9 inherited from their parents, and that he'll have to learn how to control these powers. But in the meantime, try not to use these powers.
What the f does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
You're welcome.
So he does what any sensible person would do. The second he was alone, he ran out to try and test out these newfound powers. First thing he did was pick up a rock and tossed it into the atmosphere, looking at his hands in disbelief. Whole time, that rock is probably gonna drop back down and bonk someone in the head. But he starts sprinting, testing out the parkour, even doing the most extra ass backflip I've done ever seen into the superhero landing. And just to add the cherry on top, calmly leaped across the water. While all this was going on though, the Mogadorians were doing grocery shopping. The way this one was moving, you would have thought it was Kevin Durant with a stick up his ass. But the reason they bought all that meat was to feed the creatures in the back of the truck. They really got bloodhounds ready to be unleashed at any minor inconvenience. John ended up seeing Sarah and somehow ended up by her house, where they're in the room and John was moving slick until Bernie started barking outside, ruined the play, blocked the shot with immaculate form. But as he's walking out, Mark was just sitting in his car stalking them. All types of hatred written on his face. This is weird levels of obsession. If I saw someone with glowing hands, I'm minding my business. He probably just ate some type of moldy cheese. I don't want nothing to do with that. Sam goes to talk to John, telling him to be careful and stay away from Mark and his crew, opening their lockers and...
They were like the town...
Sam immediately started going through his stuff and pulled out a picture of him and his dad who disappeared and got pissed seeing the picture covered in paint. He started talking about some... Leave me alone! And got pushed off before John stepped in. But Sam ends up telling John about his dad, saying that him and his dad used to go to Mexico to look for UFOs, and that his dad used to spend most of his time preparing for some sort of alien arrival. But later that night, John went to the local fair where he meets up with Sarah and they go into the haunted house where they're just having fun getting jump scared, thinking shit's sweet, until they're told to hop off the ride and start walking. And that's when he sees the sign, "Your number's up," with a girl laying on the ground behind him. I'm convinced the only reason he even had the balls to continue walking forward and not turn around is because he was trying to impress Sarah. Literally the second they walked in, some dude came at them with a chainsaw. And the crazy part is she was just laughing it off. This man just ran up on us with a chainsaw. But if I were to punch him in his neck, I would be wrong. John turns his head and sees some guys run up on him and starts jumping him crazy, to the point where he had to use his powers to push them off. Even launched one into a tree. And it turns out that all this was some sort of distraction just so that they could give Sarah to Mark. So let me get this straight. They really heard the game plan. Yeah, I need you to kidnap Sarah for me. Just make sure to pass her to me in the woods. No biggie. And they all said, "Aight, big bro." One of them with the night vision goggles was walking and saw something moving towards him, palming his face. The light mixed with the night vision probably blinded him. But Sam was in the back and he saw the whole thing. Mark was trying to talk to Sarah, trying to get her back. Apparently they used to date, and his brilliant plan was to grab her and ask her for a second chance. Hall of Fame dumbass. Until John comes through and flips him over his shoulder and even threatened to break his arm before Sarah tells him to stop. And after all that, he walks her home and gets a text from Sam saying that he saw everything. Going over to see him, and this man Sam went straight to giving up his leverage.
Do I need to threaten you? Because I got some pictures on my phone. Major questions. Give me that. No.
Really and truly, what was the plan? It's like everyone in this verse lacks critical thinking. You see him use his powers, and your first thought is, yeah, let me confront the alien that I just saw lift up a nigga with one hand, and then threaten him with pictures.
Whose mess is this?
this?
And he ain't even have any pictures. So he threatened him with straight air. Could have ended up in the hospital over imaginary pics. John tells Sam that his dad was right and that aliens really do exist, which gives him hope that his father may actually still be alive and was probably just abducted. But the next morning, a cop shows up asking questions about the situation in the woods, telling bro to leave them alone and worry about eating donuts, which leads to Henry asking John, "Oh, you beat their ass?" "Yeah." "Good. Now pack your bags because we're leaving." And showing him a website about aliens with actual footage of John using his powers. And Henry couldn't scrub this video off the internet, so they've gotta leave. But John said, "Nah, I'm not leaving," and tried to walk away, even slamming Henry against the wall. But look at the play by Henry. He picked up some wood, threw it at John to distract him before tackling him to the ground, dodging the hand and putting him in a chokehold. And after a simple conversation, he gave him a day to get his stuff in order. But the next morning, he tried to call Henry, but instead got this.
Henry?
No, but come here and I'll tell you how to find him.
So he called up Sam to help, driving him to the location, stepping out the vehicle and... yeah, nah. I'm starting to see why niggas were avoiding him. Got the first sign of conflict, and he's here smirking, holding a shotgun. All he needed was a reason. Talking about...
Dude, I came here to help you.
with the way he was smiling. Man, someone take that gun out of his hands. John makes his way to the house, and 2 seconds later, Sam is next to him, saying that he wants to help, telling him to just wait outside while he makes his way underground, seeing Henry tied up, getting ambushed, having to push the man away and freed Henry, just to turn around and see Sam being held at gunpoint with the same shotgun that he brought with him. John used his powers to save him, and that's when the dude explains that the Mogadorians are the ones that put them up to this. So when John heard the slightest noise coming from upstairs, he was mad confident in his powers and wanted to go up there to take his anger out, just to run up the stairs and get domed, seeing a Mogadorian walk down holding a gun. Henry had to step in to give them time to run away and met them in the truck. But this man Sam not only got his shotgun stolen from him, but also lost his keys. First mission, and he's done nothing but hold everyone back. John tries to use his powers to start the car, but is struggling as the Mogadorian jumps down and stabs Henry in the hand. And now all of a sudden his powers are working again. I guess. And Henry gives John this object and says that Sam's dad was the one who was using it to track down the other gifteds, revealing that Sam's dad was actually helping them and trying to bring them together. And then we suddenly cut to Henry laying on the road bleeding out. I was like, damn, man. No emotional impact whatsoever. Now I'm just here wondering how we just cut from them being in the car to them laying on the side of the road. Got stabbed, gave him the rock, and now he's just laying on a random patch of dirt, turning into dust. But the cop from before stops Sarah and tells her that John isn't who she thinks he is. And turns out there's actually a warrant out for their arrest, as he gets a text from Sarah, who is back at home, sitting on the roof, all dramatic and shit, telling her goodbye, just for her to almost fall and have him using his powers to save her. Could have been avoided if she just stayed her ass in the house. Running into the road, forcefully stopping a police car and running into the woods. Mark was trying to help track him down, showing why he's an elite hater, before coming to a stop and seeing the Mogadorian walking in sync. Who they feeling like throwing the cop out the car? Now it all makes sense. So this man Mark saw that his ex was getting took and got so jealous to the point that he even convinced his friends to buy night vision goggles to then kidnap her in the middle of the fair, carry her through the woods and drop her at his feet so that he could try and win her back. And when he ended up getting his ass beat, he then went and snitched to his dad, who's a cop, which is what led to him not only showing up at the house but also getting the warrant for their arrest. Someone put Mark on a watch list. Bro, please. John and Sarah sneak into the school where he shows her his powers while the Mogadorians are outside dragging Mark, who's fighting for his life. And that's when John gets a call from Sam, who's telling him to get out right now. Looking down the hallway and seeing the cleaning machine on with no one controlling it, while it's just there wiping up blood, and the lights turn off. So you know what he does. He proceeds to run into a classroom. Sam was on the phone literally telling him to leave, and he's seeing the machine move around on its own with even the lights shutting off, and his decision is to start running towards a classroom. They hear Mark outside screaming his ass off, and when they look out the window, I'm not one that's gonna say that he deserves it though, but he does deserve. They finally try to run out the school, seeing someone blast through the door, shooting at the Mogadorians, flipping off the wall, teleporting, killing one, teleport again into the knee slide and stabbing him in the back, introducing herself as number 6. Turns out she was spending her time looking for alien sightings and came across his video, so now she's here. Sam pulls up and sees the Mogadorian truck open and these beasts fly out, and to make shit even scarier, Bernie starts transforming as well. So Sam runs into the school.
Hey, did you see what was in the truck? And your dog, bro. It shapeshifted. Wait, hold on.
Who this?
What's your name?
Jane Doe.
But as they're talking, one of the beasts flies through the window and starts chasing after John, who pushed the lockers to try to stop it. Getting chased down, pushing its head against the wall onto the roof, tried to run, where you going bro, and got saved by Bernie, which gives him the chance to go back to help Jane, who tells him to use his powers to power her up, which allows them to clear the room and kill the 2 Mogadorians before asking her what's wrong with his dog, explaining that Bernie is actually a chimera from their planet who was putting in work, killing the Mogadorian creature. It slipped, hit its head, and Bernie was ready to feast. Anyway, they make their way onto the football field, getting swarmed by more Mogadorians, out there having to dodge all their blasts and take most of them out, as John uses his powers to hold the boss against the fence, seeing Jane get taken into the air, leading him to make the decision to change his focus, using his powers to power her up. But what kind of confuses me is how much they nerfed her. Her powers are extremely tough, but they made the whole power up thing kinda annoying. Since her last power up, she only teleported 3 times, once in the classroom and twice on the field. Apart from that, it was just her switching between either using her guns or the dagger. Now, don't get me wrong, the way she was moving with the dagger specifically was different. She jumped to shoot the gun out his hands, got blocked again, ducked to stab the leg, 360 knee slide, pump faked the gunshot, and instead went to stab the leg. So like I said, I ain't mad at it. It was just a lack of teleportation. As much as I understand the whole purpose of the power up thing, it was just like, come on, man. She can't hit 2 more teleports for the one time. All I'm asking for is 4 effing seconds to give her power some more screen time. But he helps her get free right before he blocks the Mogadorian's blast, and she kills the creature. And this is where they thought it was over, cause he picked John up to steal the tracker and was about to stab him, but not before Jane teleports in to save him, as John blasts him and blows the Mogadorians to smithereens. And the movie ends with them using the tracker and deciding to go find the other gifteds. But what I find funny is how they decided to take Sam with them, talking about, yeah, he needs to find his father, and just left Sarah there and told her he'll never forget her.